Folks, you can't take this for granted. Oh no. Governor Hochul's opponent, Lee Zeldin, has proposed an extreme anti-abortion, anti-woman agenda for the state. Think about it. Let's think about it. A guy who is out and out against abortion could be governor of New York unless we act. We cannot let that happen. And it's not just abortion where Republicans are working against New Yorkers and New York values. You know, when the pandemic was at its height, New Yorkers were suffering. Tens of thousands laid off. The city pushed to the brink. I worked with Kathy Hochul to deliver unprecedented federal funding in the American Rescue Plan and the bipartisan infrastructure law. $350 billion in state and local aid, billions directly to New York City, saving so many from being laid off, losing their homes, losing their jobs. Kathy Hochul fought tooth and nail for this funding. She made sure the money flowed so that teachers and nurses and subway workers could keep working. We worked together to get billions in funding for tenants to keep New Yorkers in their home, and for families in the child tax credit so kids could have something to eat. With that credit, we cut child poverty in half. Amazing. And Republicans let it expire. They let it expire. We got through the funding for the infrastructure bill to rebuild after the pandemic with good union jobs and union labor. Because we know that unions build America, build the middle class, provide ladders up. This funding kept New York City from collapsing. It allowed us to begin to rebuild. Now, what did Mr. Zeldin do? He voted against it. He voted against essential workers. He voted against our teachers, our sanitation workers, the people who make this city move. He voted against the city. You know, Lee Zeldin started riding the subway very recently, and I hear him talking about it quite a bit. Guess who voted against the $15 billion that Governor Hochul and I secured so New Yorkers can actually ride the train when they need to get somewhere? Lee Zeldin voted against it. When this city was at its direst need, Lee Zeldin voted the way Donald Trump and special interests told him to vote. Against New York, against tenants, against workers, against families. But Kathy Hochul, she has New York's back. She fought for you. She will keep having our back as governor of the state of New York. How many of you are going to work hard and make sure you vote and make sure your friends vote and your families vote across this state and across this country? Raise your hands. And don't forget, we have great Senate races in states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Ohio. And don't forget Florida, and don't forget Arizona, and don't forget Arizona and Nevada. We are going to keep the Senate in Democratic hands. So get out there. Get out there. Work for Kathy. Work for our whole Democratic ticket in New York. Work across the country. On to Victory Tuesday.